Hello. So I didn't actually tell anyone that I was going to come live today because I just decided that, and I'm just going to get you up on here just in case anyone does join me live, then I can see the comments, because the comments don't come up for some reason unless you click the link above here, which I don't think people can really see it. So if I get it up on here, then you'll be able to see me. Turn it down. Turn it down. So what I wanted to do was just come on and talk a little bit about my experience of anxiety and constant worry, and how really meditation was the key thing that helped me to change that. Ever since I can really remember, I've been a bit of an overthinker and a worrier. And I have had my anxiety, well, I don't like to say my anxiety. The anxiety that I experienced was to do with health anxiety, which is still something that I do get quite, well, I don't get it often, actually. I'm much more aware of it now, so it doesn't lead to a full-blown anxiety attack. I always had the kind of anxiety where I would always have to prepare myself for the worst thing that could possibly happen in a situation. So, because then I would always be prepared. So if I was walking down the street, I would imagine that all the cars or lorries, particularly lorries, the drivers would sneeze, lose control and crash into me, and then I would die. Or if I was driving under a bridge, I would have to hold my breath as I drove under the bridge, because I would be anxious that a lorry would veer off the bridge and crush me. So I would hold my breath as I drove under the bridge. The thoughts, the time of day, excuse me, the time of day that I used to get the highest levels of anxiety would be before I would go to sleep. So before I went to bed at night time. This would be the main time, because when your body starts to settle and you start to relax to go to sleep, your brain thinks, oh, now's a good time to remind her of that mole that she hasn't got checked, or the pain that she has in her tummy, or this or that, or actually let's remind her of that time that she cut herself and it got infected, these kind of things. And once you start to go into that thought loop and that overthinking loop, it's really hard to stop it. It's really hard to bring it back under control. What anxiety is that it's a response that sends our nervous system into a panic, into a situation of fight or flight, into a situation of I need to get out of this situation. So when you have a panic attack, it's your body's response to a threat that feels like it's either real or imagined. So the response in our body, the fight or flight response, can't tell the difference between a real threat or a perceived threat. So a real threat would be something like, getting chased by a saber-toothed tiger or something like that. A perceived threat could be being late and stuck in a traffic jam. But the physiological response in our body is the same to whichever stimuli is presented. So for me, if I was going to sleep and I would think about a mole or something that I hadn't got checked, that would be enough for me to start to panic and for my body to go into fight or flight, because I would be worried about what it would be and diagnose myself with all sorts. And then it would just escalate, and then it would turn into a full-blown panic attack. So I always had to prepare myself. So even a fear of flying, that's been a massive thing that I've had, particularly since having children. That has got so much worse. And I would always imagine the worst case scenario. So I would always imagine that the plane was going to crash, because if I was prepared, then I would be prepared for it. If the plane had an emergency and it crashed into the sea, then I would be prepared, and I would at least know that all four of us were together, and that, yes, it would be horrendous, but no one's getting left behind. We're all together. Driving in the car, I always expect that everyone's going to crash into me and that I'm going to die. Not now. I used to. Although I'm still not a great passenger if other people are driving. Because I'm not in control. Anything. I would always prepare myself for the worst. If I was going to the doctors about something, so you probably remember last year I talked about this a lot, that I had that beating in my ear that I had, so I could hear my heartbeat in my ear. And that led to what I can only describe as some kind of breakdown. And it was massive. And I really felt like I was going to die. I thought I was going to have a stroke, and that would be it. So that led to morning, Helen. That led to a whole few months of anxiety about so many things. And I wasn't meditating at that time because I was so anxious. I just got into such a cycle of my life's going to end and everything is out to get me and everything's killing me that I couldn't actually bring myself out of it. And I've spoken about this before, and I'm sure that if you've been here for a while, you will have heard this story. What helped me with the overthinking anxiety was training as an X-Hail Meditation Instructor, or meditating. So first of all, I started meditating. I went to a colour meditation class when my friend Shelley, who's in this group, took over the Ministry of Yoga, and there was a lady there who ran colour meditation classes, and I went every week. And so that kind of got it into like a weekly practice. Then I stopped going to that for some reason. I can't remember exactly why. And I found a crystal meditation class in Alsager, where I live, with a lady called Bev. And that meditation class really helped me to see the benefit of meditation, because I actually really looked forward to that class. I knew that I felt better after I'd been to it, and I wanted some way of meditating myself without having to go somewhere. So I wanted it to be like part of my practice. And I kept seeing, so the lady who runs X-Hail, Charlotte, who's also in this group, the lovely Charlotte, I knew her through the Daisy antenatal classes that I used to teach, because she also used to teach them. And then she set up X-Hail. And I kept seeing her adverts pop up on my Facebook feed. And I was like, oh, that looks interesting. But I didn't go any further. I just was like, yeah, that looks interesting. But I kept seeing them. And I remember saying to my husband at the time, this was, how many years ago now? 3.5 years ago, maybe 3 years ago. I said, this is something that I really feel like I have to do. I feel like it's calling me to do it. I want to do this X-Hail training. I'm just going to put it on the credit card. I'm just going to do it. Whatever, I'm going to train. And he was like, fine, another thing. God, just do whatever you want. Because I'm always doing this. So I messaged Charlotte and I was like, just tell me how much it is. I'm putting it on the credit card. I'm doing it. Send me the payment link before I change my mind. Like, just send it. So I did that. And oh my gosh, was that the best decision that I have ever made in my life? I would probably say yes, because it has absolutely transformed my experiences. So apart from the blip that I had last year, where I had that breakdown, which was obviously just a combination of all the different things, whatever, I don't do so much overthinking now. I don't think of all the what ifs. I don't get on a plane and think it's going to crash. I don't walk anymore and think that every car is going to crash into me. I don't hold my breath when I drive under bridges anymore. It's completely transformed my life. And this is why I'm so passionate about sharing meditation with other people, because it really has been the one thing that has made such a difference to me and my life. What meditation does is that it helps you to, so the fight or flight response that I spoke about earlier, meditation helps you to lower those hormones, so lower the cortisol, lower the adrenaline, and it helps you to increase the hormone of oxytocin, which is like the feel-good calming hormone. So actually, meditation is really good. And lots of people say, well, I can't meditate because my mind's too busy, I have too many thoughts. But actually, that's not the point of meditation. The point of meditation is not to stop your thoughts. It's not to, meditation isn't about having a mind without any thoughts, because that's impossible. The mind has too many thoughts in a day to be able to stop it. The mind has like over 70,000 thoughts a day. You are never going to be able to stop them. But what meditation does is that it helps you to catch the thoughts that are not good and let them go. So it gives you more of a ability to, when you're like, so when you're in like the overthinking loops of, oh my God, everything's going to kill me and I just can't actually go for a walk because what if a lorry crashes into me, and what if and this and that and blah, 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 blah. You catch those thoughts and you realize that it's just a thought. It's not actually what's happening right now. It's just a thought that's popping into your mind, and you are not that thought. So you can let it go. It helps you to really kind of catch the thoughts, let them go. So because you're bringing, with the X-Hail meditation technique that we use, you're using a focus point. And as you practice, every time your mind wanders, you bring it back to this point of focus, whether it be your breath or a settling sound or music or my voice, if it's a guided meditation, whatever it is, you notice that your mind's wandered and you bring your focus back to that point. And that's what the skill of meditation is. It's catching, it's being aware of your thoughts. It's having that awareness of your thoughts as something separate to you, if that makes sense. So when you have these thoughts that are separate to you, it means that you're more able to regulate those thoughts, the thoughts that you know are going to turn into. So now as I'm going to bed, if I have a thought pop in of, you've got that funny pain in your abdomen again, you really need to go and get that checked. I have actually been having it checked for like 2 years. No one still knows what it is. But if it pops into my mind as I'm going to sleep, then I am more able to catch that thought, do something in my body to reduce that anxiety, that adrenaline, that fight or flight response, and stop it from turning into a full-blown panic attack. So that's what meditation has done for me. And it's also increased my self-confidence. It's also, I feel better about myself. It's improved my everything. So much has improved. But I won't ramble on about all of those now because it's too much. But I just wanted to explain a little bit about me and why I'm so passionate about meditation and what it's done for me. And what happened when I trained as an X-Hail instructor was that I had to make it a regular practice. I had to make sure that I was doing it every day. You have to do a 21-day meditation log as part of your training. And so I had to do it. I had to commit to doing it every day. And it doesn't have to be a long time every day. Some days I just literally did 5 minutes. But the act of doing it every day, it's like the accumulation of doing it every day that leads to the most benefit. So if you just do it once and then don't do it again for a month, you're not going to really experience the benefits. Yeah, it might relax you a little bit for that hour that you do it, but it's not going to have the benefits of the accumulative effect of the benefits. And actually now I can tell when I don't meditate. I can tell how my mind is. I can tell in my body. I can tell how I feel that's different when I don't meditate for a certain length of time. Even my husband can. And my husband is very like, I'm not going to meditate. It's all a load of rubbish. I don't want to meditate. But if depending on how I'm acting, he'll say to me, have you meditated recently? I'm like, no, I haven't, too busy, blah, blah, blah. So I really make a conscious effort to meditate every day as much as I possibly can. that's a commitment that you make to yourself because you know it's going to make you feel better. So that's what I do. I do it every morning before I get out of bed, pretty much, unless I press snooze too many times. But generally, that's what I do. And it just feels better. It just feels better. It improves your life so much. Everyone should meditate. Anyway, I've been here for 15 minutes. I'm going to stop now. And I am running this Saturday an online meditation masterclass, X-Hail Meditation Masterclass, which is going to teach you how to meditate the X-Hail way. We talk about the benefits of meditation. We talk about the stereotypes that surround meditation, the reasons why people can't meditate, the challenges that you might face as you try and create a meditation practice and how to work around them. We look at the breath and how we can really connect to our breath and use our breath to help us to feel calmer, feel more balanced. We look at the movements that we do in the X-Hail classes and how you can incorporate them into your practice if you want to. And we look at all different techniques and things that might aid your meditation practice. It's a practical 2-hour workshop. It's just £30, 1 till 3 on Saturday. And if you really feel interested in finding out more about meditation, realizing that it actually is for everyone can meditate. It's not something that's reserved for an elite group of people. It's something that everyone can do. It doesn't matter how busy you are. It doesn't matter how many thoughts you have. It doesn't matter that you can't sit cross-legged. It doesn't matter that you can't sit still. Nothing matters. Everyone can meditate, and everyone should meditate. Should, in inverted commas, because we shouldn't be doing shoulds in life, but everyone who meditates notices the benefit. So if you want me to teach you how to meditate, come and sit with me on Saturday, 1 till 3 p.m. online via Zoom. It won't be a massive group. It'll be interactive. We'll talk, we'll share, we'll make it really, really powerful. And if you're in my membership, Helen, I don't know if you're still with me, but if you're in my membership, it's free for you to attend. And if you join my membership before Saturday, you can come for free too. So win-win situation. £33 a month for the membership. So you might as well join that, get the masterclass for free all the month of the membership. And then if you don't like it, you can leave. But I'm sure you will like it because it's amazing. Anyway, I'm going to go now. If you are interested in booking on that, I'm going to drop the link into the group. Alternatively, if you're interested in actually training to be an X-Hail meditation instructor and creating this massive change for yourself, message me about that, because we can book a call and I can explain more about it and what's involved, and you can do that. Why not? That would absolutely change your life. Anyway, I'll see you all very soon. Thank you for joining me. If you did join me live, if you're watching on the replay, drop me a #replay. Let me know how you feel about this, and I will speak to you all very, very soon. Bye for now.